Hello. I hope you're all doing well. And if not, I at least hope that your night improves. Oof. Starting off with the hiccups already, I guess. Hello, Egg. I hope you're doing well. Alrighty, so I was going to initially use the Llamas Oracle some more, but I decided no. We're gonna go with the Mabon Oracle because I want the early fall vibes. And the autumn equinox is only like a month away, so we're starting it a little bit early. I'm being a little bit indulgent tonight. We're doing early fall vibes and we're using the Mabon Oracle because I feel like it, so whatever. I'm doing alright. I've been trying to make a little bit more progress on the tarot journal template that I've been making on Notion. But I was hoping to have like that done by September, but it looks like that's not happening. So we're aiming for October. So I did a little bit more work on that today. The work that just needs to be done on it, because like the base template itself is done. It's just the like keywords and like summary and like card meanings, like in-depth card meanings need to be filled in. And that's what I've been like trying to work on for probably about like the past 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, honestly. It's probably closer to 3 weeks. And I've been trying to slowly like chip away at that, but also I haven't been feeling very well and had much energy to put into much of anything lately, other than just, you know, relaxing and chilling. So I haven't gotten as much as I would have liked to have gotten done. So I figured I probably wouldn't get it done by September. So we're just like we're aiming for October instead. And that's completely fine. Oh no, I'm sorry. But hey, you got this. I know you got this. Okay? Oh yeah, also I just realized I forgot to fucking announce the goal. So the new goal, I use the goal here very loosely, by the way. It's more so just kind of for transparency's sake, so that you know what, like, any money that I make from like any source is going to be put towards. It's just so you know what it's going to be put towards. It's not a goal in the sense that, you know, like yeah. if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, new goal is for 3 new decks. I'd like to get them together. They've been like decks that have been on my like radar for a bit. So you're familiar with the Moonology deck because you have it. There's, however, another edition of it that's called Moonology Manifestation that focuses specifically on like working with the moon cycles of the moon to like manifest things. Hence it's called Moonology Manifestation Oracle. That one is one that I've been wanting to get for a while. It's one that Adam has, and I've had like a lot of like experience with it. And that deck is equally as wonderful as the Moonology deck. Okay. It's wonderful. I don't believe I have, no. But the 3 decks that I'm looking at are Moonology Manifestation Oracle, because I already have the Moonology deck, and that one's wonderful. And I've worked a bit with the Moonology Manifestation Oracle because Adam has it. And while he was up here last year, I worked with it a little bit. I think we even used it on stream once. And he's also like pulled some cards for me from it as well. So I have some experience with that deck, and it's also equally as wonderful. So there's the Moonology Manifestation Oracle, the Modern Witch Tarot, which I've been wanting for a while. It's like a slightly modernized version of like a Rider-Waite-Smith. Yeah. That's one of my favorite songs from them. I have a lot of favorites. They have no bad songs, in my opinion, so yeah. But yeah, they've been like very, very special to me for years. I first discovered them back in like 2016, back when they started releasing like singles for their upcoming like first album, Sundowning. And I didn't listen to them much initially, but it was like around, I could tell there was something brewing around the end of 2022 and like the beginning of 2023. And some events started occurring for me back around that time. And then they started dropping singles again for their upcoming album, Take Me Back to Eden. And the first 2 singles dropped, which were, well, one was The Summoning, and then the second one, I believe, was, what the fuck was it? I can't fucking remember anymore. And it was like at that moment that I was just like, oh. That was when things shifted for me with them. And then there were some events that happened and like some weird synchronicities that started happening involving like some of their songs. The Apparition wasn't one of the singles they released. I want to say it was potentially Aqua Regia, but I don't fucking remember. I think that may have been in the second batch. I forget what one they released alongside the something. I don't fucking remember. But then there were some weird synchronicities with their music and like them like dropping the singles and stuff. And the last one occurred on like the Eclipse. The last single they dropped was on like the Eclipse back in April in 2023. And there was a weird fucking like synchronicity that happened with that, and it like fucking destroyed me in the worst way and in the best way simultaneously. And yeah. Then I was just like, I was already eagerly anticipating the album, but it was at that moment that I was just like, And then they released the album, and it's just like, fuck. Perhaps. Though, have you changed your name at all? Yeah, I thought so. What was your old username? Also, hello. Too expected. I hope you're doing well. And I'm doing alright. Just chatting a little bit. Oh, that's fine. But queue will be open shortly. I just usually start off with a few, like at least one collective. Haven't gotten into the collective yet, so I've been chatting a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, to finish off that initial thought, so the new goal, the 3 decks that are included in that new goal there are the Moonology Manifestation Oracle, the Modern Witch Tarot, and Earth and Bone Oracle. Individually, they're all like more affordable decks. I think they're only like each around like 20, anywhere from $20 to $25 each. So yeah, the last full moon was full moon in Aquarius. It just happened like a day or two ago. So that's not surprising. I'm sorry you were depressed, though. Oh, queue will be open shortly. It's all good. And also, if you want to, like, whisper me your name here on Twitch, that's completely fine. Just after I finish the collective here, which I'm starting right now, so. Alrighty. So what message should we give today? Ah, yeah. No, of course I remember you. But if you just want the Thera-pets card, we can pull that for you right after we're done with the collective here, okay? Alright, that's all good. Okay. So, what message do we need to hear today? Boy. Wrist. Better wrist. Alrighty. Interesting. So we have the King of Coins, Four of Swords reversed, and Knight of Coins reversed. So there's definitely an energy here. An energy here of just kind of I feel like you're just probably kind of being a little bit hard on yourself about the progress that you've been making for yourself here. You might be feeling like you're not really making any progress. You might be feeling like you're not making any progress, like you're not really, where you want to be yet, and perhaps struggling to see the way forward there. And this is just kind of your reminder to just, I definitely get the feeling that there's just kind of like a, don't get too caught up in like the finer details of things. Don't get too caught up in all that, okay? And also don't get too caught up in this idea that you just constantly have to be working towards things and making progress towards things, okay? That's kind of where this Four of Swords reversed energy is coming in here. The Four of Swords reversed right here is kind of telling me that there isn't exactly this balance between making progress towards things and actually taking time to rest, taking time for yourself, taking time to recharge, okay? Because you should be doing those things in cycles. The way that this world, the society, views productivity is very, very much toxic, okay? Grind culture is toxic. It's not sustainable. It will lead you to burnout. It will lead you to resentment. It will lead you to just like so much negative bullshit, okay? It's not sustainable. It is absolutely not fucking sustainable, okay? Taking time to rest, taking time for breaks does not mean that you're going to undo all of that progress. Bad days don't mean that it's going to undo all of your progress, okay? That progress will still be there. And even when you feel like you're not making progress, trust that you are, okay? And trust that this end goal where you want to be, okay? It's there. It's not going anywhere. You'll still get there, no matter what speed you're going at, okay? Forward is forward. Don't get too caught up in the finer details. Don't get too caught up in feeling like you have to just constantly be doing something, okay? Okay. So, make sure you're taking time to rest as you're working towards these things. And doing internal work and work on yourself is still work, by the way, okay? You still, even when you're just doing that, even if it seems or feels like you're not really doing much, okay? It's still work, it's still emotional labor, okay? It will still drain you. You still need to take rests from that, okay? Work on those things when you're able to, when you feel called to. When you need to take time for rest, for breaks, to just relax and have fun, do that, okay? Okay. Okay. And then we have campfire. And grieving. Okay. Campfire. Let's see. Do not fear opening your mouth and allowing your tongue to speak. Keywords are telling stories, seek advice from others, and moral of the story. Your higher self chose this card because it may be time to seek out the help of others. You might find unexpected support, knowledge, or inspiration from someone who is more experienced and has a lot more stories to tell. Or you may find there are many people who have indeed walked in your shoes. Even the most consistently successful people have experienced failure and challenges. Be willing to listen to those who have come before you. Oh god, the phrasing of this is weird, and I also think there's a typo there. Be willing to listen to those who have come before you that can help build your strength and give you hope that you can overcome the obstacles you are facing. Campfire could also mean an older mentor might be available to you now or will enter your life very soon. Welcome their advice and ask as many questions as you can. They may be able to offer a great deal of assistance if you're willing to approach them with humility and listen to what they have to say. This card could also mean that you may find yourself in a mentor position, but someone else has sought out your knowledge and guidance. If that is the case, trust that others see in you what you see in your own heroes. Be generous with your expertise and be the kind of person who offers the same motivation you'd hope to receive for yourself. So, this one is very, very much, I feel like, going to go in line with grieving here. But on its own, this is also saying, like, don't be afraid to, like, rely on others, okay? Don't be afraid to accept help. Because it's not something that needs to be done alone. And spending time with others is very much a necessary part of just human existence, okay? Socialization is necessary for human existence. So, don't be afraid to just, like, spend time with others and rely on others and ask others for help, okay? We're gonna wait until ads are over before I start with grieving. There's an ad break running. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You're definitely not the first person to say that, and that's kind of part of the reason why I feel like I was guided to be here. So, and that's kind of my goal here, is just to help uplift others. Because I very much know what it's like to struggle. I suffer from depression, I suffer from anxiety. I definitely don't have the best childhood. I'm not gonna get into that, really, because, yeah. But, like, yeah. I appreciate that. Sorry, you probably didn't hear anything that I just said. But thank you, I appreciate that. And you're certainly not the first person to say that, and I feel like that's kind of part of why I was guided to be here. A little over a year ago, at this point. And that's my goal here, is just to kind of help uplift others. Because I know what it's like to struggle. I suffer from depression and anxiety and a troubled childhood that I won't get into. And there's still a lot of trauma and scars that I carry from my experiences with life. But in that same vein, I also know that as impossible as it may seem, when you're experiencing those moments, that doesn't mean that things will always remain to be that way. Eventually, just only about 7 years ago at this point, escaped from those very situations that just kind of caused that trauma, those scars that I still carry. And I'm like 31 years old. And it was only just 7 years ago that I escaped that situation. So. And yeah, sure, with current living situations and stuff, it's still not the best. But I also know that things won't always remain to be this way either. And I very much have, like, solid proof of that now, because there are plans in place to just kind of move into a better situation, with, a very close friend slash ex-partner of mine. We have plans to move in together. And I'll be in a much more stable, safe situation. So. And I know in those darkest of moments it can feel like things will never change. And that those are things that you'll always carry with you. But as long as you're open to the possibility that things can change, and that those scars won't always hold such a big influence over your life, yeah. Like, yes, anxiety and, like, depression are still very much things that weigh heavily on me some days. But I also, in those moments, do my best to remember that it won't always be that way. They won't always be that heavy, and there will be better days. I mean, hell, there was like a situation just like about a year ago that just kind of like brought back a lot of that trauma. And brought back the PTSD episodes, because that's also something that I suffer from as well. And it was a very rough like year. Last year was very rough because of that, but it's since lessened its hold. And back during those worst moments, did I believe that like would ever lessen? No. No. In those moments, sometimes all you can do is just kind of focusing on doing your best to survive. And if that's all you can do in a day, that's fine. Sometimes all you can do in any given day is just survive. And if you don't have any energy to contribute towards anything else, that's completely fine. It's okay to have those days, it's okay to have those moments. There's no reason to be hard on yourself. For anything, really. Within reason, of course. But... So yeah. I know what it's like to definitely not be okay. And I know what it's like to feel isolated and to feel alone. And what it's like when you receive that, like, support and find someone who gives you, like, that uplifting that you need. And that's kind of what I try to do here. Because that was something I desperately needed in my life growing up. And something I never received. Yeah. I definitely know what that's like. But yeah. Just keep doing your best to believe that, you know, someday you will find what you need. So, grieving is our next card here. And we have the chambers of mourning, of your mourning, are surrounded by nothingness, emptiness waiting to be seen. Keywords here are grief, mourning, deep sorrow, and heartbreak. Your higher self chose this card because grief isn't just about the death of a loved one. Mourning is defined as feeling regret or sadness about the loss or disappearance of something. You can grieve the end of a career, a move from one place to another, letting go of a dream, or seeing your children leave the nest. While grief isn't pleasant, it's important to acknowledge the loss of something or someone that was important to you. Doing so doesn't reduce the love you had for what you've lost, but it does give you a way to let go and move on. To ignore your sadness is to deny a meaningful part of your life story. Pulling grieving is an opportunity to embrace the heavy emotions you have been carrying. Express the fullness of your heartache as a tribute to what once was. And then once you have cried, screamed, gotten angry, or sad, your spirit will be free. It's only when you deny your grief that it becomes baggage. Will you feel sad from time to time? Of course. Memories have a way of creeping in, even with a healthy grief process, but it won't be a constant thorn in your soul. This card also reminds you that it's okay to feel sorrow for something or someone who is gone, even if that person or thing brought you great harm. Bad memories don't erase the good ones, and there's nothing wrong with cherishing any happiness you once experienced together. It doesn't matter if other people don't understand your grief because it isn't theirs to understand in the first place. So, very much touching on something that I talk about a lot here, which is that it's important not to shove those feelings away, those emotions away, okay? You do need to give them space to exist, because bottling them up, shoving them away, ignoring them, isn't really going to get you anywhere good, and it's going to do more harm than good in the long run. So, that doesn't mean that you just have to constantly be focusing on those emotions at all. Not at all. It just means allowing those space to exist, but not identifying with them too much or giving in to them too much. And what I mean by that is that sometimes when we put a little bit too much energy into those emotions or a little bit too much thought into those emotions, sometimes that leads us into a negative thought spiral. And that's also not good. And if you find yourself doing that, just remember to try your best to disengage from them. Just acknowledge they're there, without judging them or yourself or trying to categorize them or make sense of them, okay? And remember, it's okay to feel that way. Oh, I love this. I just saw one of the cards that popped out. Here's a friendly reminder that the negative voice in your head is not you, and you are actually completely delightful. So don't listen to that harsh inner critic, okay? Especially if you're being hard on yourself right now because you feel like you should be doing things, like you should be making progress on things, or like you're not making progress on things, or you're not doing enough, or whatever, okay? Or that you should be over this by now. Whatever you're telling yourself, okay? Don't listen to that harsh inner critic. Because if being hard on yourself actually worked, it would have worked by now. What you need isn't harshness. You need compassion. And everything is scary and you feel vulnerable, but that doesn't mean anything is going to go wrong. Anxious feelings aren't usually indicative of reality. And no one else knows what they're doing either. It's all going to turn out fine. And if it brings you any comfort, if it seems like I have any of my shit together, I can promise you, I don't. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing or where I'm going, okay? I go with the flow and go with what I feel called to. That's about it. So, for anyone who needed to hear this message, I hope it helps. I know this one was certainly aimed at me as well, so. Alright. So, let me go ahead and open Q here. Okay, Q's open. And then I'll pull you your Thera-pets card here. What would you like to be called now, by the way, if I may ask? X. Okay. That's fine. Alrighty. So, let's see what the Thera-pets deck wants to have, or wants to say to you, what it has for you. Okay. What does X need to hear today? Also, I just realized I like never responded to like an earlier message of yours, but like if you have the energy to, X, you should absolutely go make something for yourself. If you haven't eaten all day. I know I've had a very low appetite myself lately, and I haven't really had much energy to actually make things for myself. So, yes, you should definitely go eat. Good. I'm glad. Okay. Looks like we have 3 cards for you here. Aw. Just because you feel like trash doesn't mean you are trash. So be nice to yourself. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be scared. You will succeed in spite of these feelings. And it's going to be okay. I hope that message helps. It really does. I'm very, very familiar with that. I don't always sleep the best. I've actually been struggling with that myself a bit lately, though. For once, last night I actually slept pretty well and went to bed at a more quote-unquote reasonable time. For me, anyway. So... yeah, same. Egg, same. I wake up so much in the middle of the night. I wake up so much in the middle of the night. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Are you ready, Egg? Okay. What message does Egg need to hear today? Okay. Uh. Sleep apnea is I don't know if it's classified as a disorder, but it's essentially for most people you either like have difficulty like breathing in your sleep, or like sometimes completely stop breathing for like a short like period of time. And that affects the quality of sleep that people get, and that can often cause them to wake up a lot. Or just wake up feeling completely exhausted or like unrested. Like if you're an excessively loud like snorer, for anyone who's like an excessively loud snorer, who snores very loudly and snores like very frequently, it's often recommended that people who suffer from that get a sleep study done so that they can essentially see whether or not you actually suffer from sleep apnea, because that's often a sign, a symptom of sleep apnea. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, my mom had sleep apnea, so she had to use a CPAP machine every night to make sure that she was actually like breathing and getting enough oxygen and stuff. And unfortunately, one side effect of those though is that sometimes you wake up with like really, really dry nostrils, and you still kind of sometimes wake up with a headache anyway. Yeah. Okay. So, we have Queen of Coins reversed, the Sun, and Two of Swords reversed. Oh, and of course we have ads. Okay. Well, you have a sub anyway, so I'll go ahead and continue. Let me just take a drink really quick. But anyway, essentially what this is telling me... Yeah, sorry. I'm very scatterbrained today. I may have gotten better sleep last night, but I'm still very much scatterbrained. But, essentially what this is telling me, I feel... That's good, at least. I feel like the Two of Swords reversed is one that's been coming up for you a lot lately. It's kind of all about, like, confronting that just kind of, like, fear of the unknown. Or, like, that, like... a fear of just, like, it can also sometimes be about, like, indecision as well. And just kind of, like, not really having a sense of direction. There's kind of also a bit of that sort of energy with the Two of Swords reversed as well. But it's very, very frequently about just kind of like, just kind of a bit of fear of the unknown for me, is what it usually means. And so there's a general just kind of like fear of the unknown. And, it's just kind of like, this is essentially just kind of causing you to feel a little bit just kind of like uncertain and just like unprepared, and leaving you feeling like a bit ungrounded because you're not really certain where this is going to go or where you should be going with these things. Thank you, phone. I forgot to fucking silence it, I guess. I don't know if you heard my phone go off. But anyway, so yes, there's definitely just kind of that like fear of the unknown, and it's just kind of causing you to just feel very uncertain and very unsure, feeling a bit unsure of just like where things are going to go, where things are going to end up, and like where you should be going, what you should be doing with things, okay? But just remember that, like, there's very much just kind of like a positive outcome with this, okay? If you are able to just kind of let up a little bit and push forward despite these fears that you're facing, this uncertainty and just kind of fear of the unknown. If you're able to just kind of push forward a little bit despite that, and just kind of like embody a bit of like that confidence, not confidence, but more so like bravery. So confidence can kind of be like thrown in there too. But there's a phrase that I say a lot, is that like bravery doesn't mean the absence of fear. Bravery means persisting despite the presence of those fears, because those fears will never really go away. But if you keep persisting despite them, eventually, over time, they'll shrink, and they won't have as big of an influence on you. That's what courage is, that's what bravery is. It takes time, it takes practice. There's no reason to just kind of, you know, be hard on yourself for any of this. Most certainly. And you also certainly don't want to rush into things. It's about just kind of like taking it slow. Okay? Just take small steps. Okay? Take small steps. Just little by little, continue pushing forward. Okay? And I know you're already trying this, I know you're already doing your best, and that's what matters, okay? Just keep doing this, okay? And there is a positive outcome here, okay? Just remember to keep that, like, positive brighter outlook. Don't lose sight of that. Okay? Just remember that, again, be open to the possibility, okay? Something that I've said a lot lately. Be open to the possibility that things might... and be open to the possibility that things can and likely will go better than you expect them to, okay? So keep trying to push past those fears. It doesn't matter if you're making, you know, like, massive progress right away. It doesn't matter if you're taking massive steps right away. See, again, you don't want to rush it. Just keep taking those small steps. That's all that matters. Just keep trying. Next. Very, very picky. My goodness. Okay. Ah. And we have corn maze. Although your path is unclear, it is there waiting for your faith to lead you. Keywords are compromising beliefs, falling off the path, getting lost, and authenticity. Your higher self chose this card because life is a lot like going through a corn maze. It's a series of choices that will either lead you to freedom manifested in feelings of joy, success, feeling loved and supported, or choices that lead to feeling stuck, stagnant, confused, and lost. The next choice is always a flip of the coin, and will bring you closer to or further away from your desired outcome. Just like a corn maze, you don't get a map or chance to plot the way before going in, but you do have a built-in guide in the form of your inner self, which knows exactly the way to go, when to turn and when to head back and start again. Your inner self speaks to you through your beliefs and feelings, and is speaking to you now through this card, letting you know that you have been going in the wrong direction. If you're inquiring about a future decision, receiving this card is a definitive no. This is not the path to take. Instead, you are being asked to go back and start from the beginning. What are your values and core beliefs? What are you hoping to gain from the situation, or who are you attempting to become? Have your choices supported future versions of yourself in your life? Finally, where have you compromised your life's vision in pursuit of goals and expectations that belong to someone else? Corn Maze offers a final message. There is more than one way to achieve a goal. The path you're on now is not the way, and there may be another path that is much better suited to you. Find this path. Take time out to find out who you are truly. To find this path, take time to find out who you truly are now and who you're becoming. Then your inner self will have what it needs to take you from point A to point B. So, essentially, this card is essentially just kind of all about just, you know, follow where you're being led, okay? Follow where you're being led, okay? Don't be afraid to see where it leads. I know it may seem scary because you're not really certain, like, where it's leading, but you won't know until you actually truly go for it, okay? And the part that I definitely feel like it's saying no to isn't that, you know, like, this is the wrong decision or the wrong move here. It's more so like, more so that, like, it's this fear, okay? Fear of the unknown that's just kind of causing you to feel stuck. And just never moving forward with this because you freeze out of fear. That's not what you want. That's what it's saying no to. Follow where you're being guided, okay? Where's your heart leading you? Your inner guidance system, your intuition. Where's spirit leading you? Oh, so hello. Essentially, it's just kind of this letting, like, past experiences influence how you move forward. That's what you don't want to continue with. You can type read me, ! read me. Okay. Whatever happens today, you will make it through. You're still making progress even on your worst days. And stop calling yourself garbage. You're a blueberry fairy princess. You are amazing. Yeah. And I feel like there's also just kind of that energy of just kind of taking a moment to just kind of like step back and just get clear on what it is that you want. Okay, good. So do what you can. Continue just doing what you can to get there. That doesn't mean that you have to constantly be doing something to get there. So essentially, you've put it out there. You've put the energy out there. You've put the work in, okay, and put it out there. So just wait. Wait for the response, essentially. So I hope that message helps. Good. I'm glad. Okay. Are you ready, Joey? Okay. So, let's see. What message do you need to hear today, Joey? Okay. Wrist. Wrist. Okay. Wrist. Okay. So we have strength, Knight of Swords, and Ten of Swords. So there's definitely like pointing towards like some conflict or a struggle of some sort, perhaps. With that Ten of Swords. I don't know if that's something you went through recently. There is some sort of struggle or conflict of some sort that you went through recently. Whether internal or external. This can be either. Or just kind of like an ending of some sort. Some chapter closing with the Ten of Swords. Upright energy there. But regardless, some painful situation here. Situation that caused you some amount of grief and pain. Oh, I don't think this is about like any more events happening. Don't worry about that. So, there's definitely like this just kind of events took place that caused some pain, some grief, and just perhaps some painful endings, just painful situations in general that perhaps kind of left you feeling like you were at some sort of loss, like you were a bit defeated, okay? Because there was... This card did kind of flip back and forth between upright and reversed. I usually flip it twice, just to get an idea once it pops out, just to give an idea of like which side of the energy is being called on, or if it's perhaps calling on both sides of the energy, because that happens sometimes. So both sides of the energy are kind of being called on a little bit here with that strength card, which also tells me that combined with the Ten of Swords, there is definitely some energy of just kind of like loss and feeling a bit defeated. And just definitely some downtrodden energy. But essentially the message here is that just keep holding strong, okay? This event that was in the past here, okay? Like, just continue letting the situation come to a close, okay? Because tens are all about just, you know, like the ends of like a cycle, a chapter closing, okay? It's about the conclusion of something, okay? So just continue letting go of the situation, okay, and moving on from the situation. Continue holding strong and continuing to move forward from this, okay? It's okay to still carry that pain with you. And that's not at all what it's saying, okay? Because, like, healing takes time, and it's definitely not always linear, okay? So, don't be too hard on yourself if you're still just kind of, like, feeling this very intensely and feeling this very heavily, okay? And that's not at all what this is about. You grieve and let go at your own time. This isn't saying to rush it. Just continue moving forward from this. Continue holding on. Continue remaining strong, okay? And continue just leaving this situation in the past, okay? The key energy for this is most certainly surrounding the Knight of Swords, okay? Because it's all about just like forward movement and momentum and just action, okay? Hey, Adam. Okay, just very much trust the process vibes, okay? Very much trust the process vibes. Just continue moving forward with this. Don't get too caught up in any of the finer details or in just that past situation anymore, okay? And there's ads, of course. I'll pause if you're stuck in ads. In case you're stuck in ads, rather. Okay. Ads should be over. Hopefully you're out of ads. But yes, the key energy here is definitely with the Knight of Swords, okay? So just very much just kind of like all about like moving on and moving forward, okay? It's all about that movement and that forward momentum, okay? Just continue moving forward from the situation and don't get try your best not to get too caught up in like this past situation, okay? Just let those things come to a close, let those things end. And if you're still dealing with, like, and given the strength card, there is definitely that sense of just kind of, you know, like, carrying some of the pain and grief that arose out of the situation. Like, don't feel bad if you're still carrying some of that pain, okay? Like, healing takes time. Like I said, it takes time. Give yourself time to heal and move on. Definitely don't rush that process. That's not what it's about. Just continue. Continue letting that process naturally occur, okay? Let's see what the Oracle card wants to add to this. Oracle deck wants to add to this, rather. Okay, we have cacao and shape-shifting. I know the message of cacao. Alright. You are loved, you are held, and you are already everything you seek. Keywords are embrace, open heart, and tenderness. Your higher self chose this card because cacao is such a comforting drink to experience. It's like a hug from your nearest and dearest, and when this card appears, it's a message from Spirit acknowledging any emotional hurt and pain you have felt. Whether you've experienced a breakup, the loss of a loved one, disappointment, or a betrayal, cacao reminds you that it is safe to open your heart again. However, do not feel rushed to welcome love from another before you have found love for yourself. What does it mean to you to feel loved, supported, and emotionally nourished? How would your life look and feel if you loved and accepted yourself unconditionally? Feel your heart with the feelings these visualizations invoke and allow them to gently soften you little by little. This card is also a reminder that you are worthy of being loved. You are not broken, no matter what past experiences might have led you to believe. You are a good, kind-hearted, gentle soul whose light is needed in this world. Please don't allow anyone's poor treatment to prevent you from letting others experience your light. So, don't let this situation get to you, okay? Don't let it get to you too much. And remember that you are loved, you still deserve love, and you still deserve good things, okay? And then we have shape-shifting. Transformation is not the loss of what once was. It is the evolution of a more powerful self. Keywords are adaptability, transformation, and evolution. Your higher self chose this card because you are evolving, my dear. And this card is a confirmation that all of your hard work and challenges are worth it. You are beginning to see what all of your recent hardships have been for, and how they have shaped you into the person you are now becoming. It's never easy to experience loss or setbacks, but at least you can take comfort in knowing they were preparation for your developing greatness. Your recent circumstances have made you more wise and practical, and better prepared and able to manage tough situations. Your level of what's possible and what you're capable of dealing with should be expanded now, and you can enjoy the additional layers of complexity.
which only give you more interest and experience. Hold your head high and step fully into this new expanded reality. Rather than complaining about what you've lost, shift your focus on celebrating what you have gained. Pat yourself for making it through, then begin to imagine what you can do now that you have less baggage weighing you down. Alrighty. Alrighty. We have whatever happens today, you will make it through. And you're strong, smart, and you got this. Alrighty. So, I hope that message helps. Definitely very much just all about, like, letting yourself continue to process those things, okay? It's okay to still feel hurt. It's just okay to still carry those things with you, okay? Make sure you're giving space for those feelings and emotions to still exist. And not trying to shove them or force them away. And very much just trust the process vibes. So. I hope that message helps. Okay. Before I forget, let me go ahead and issue a last call for queue here. I'll be leaving it open for a few more minutes. Okay. Are you ready, Adam?
Just... Okay. We have Temperance. Three of Wands. Oh, I don't know if the microphone just picked that up, but my stomach just growled and my throat gurgled. Body, are you okay? My goodness. Okay, so okay, so here we have just kind of as you're working towards just essentially planning and setting up this life that you want for yourself and creating this like stability that you want for yourself, just have patience, okay? Have patience, especially with yourself, okay? Especially with yourself. That means treating yourself with compassion and being nice to yourself. Okay? Give yourself the same grace that you'd give to others. Give yourself the same compassion that you'd give to others, okay? You can't... Being hard on yourself and, like, pushing yourself... It would have worked by now. Okay? You can't force your way into this. You need compassion. You need to treat yourself with a sense of, like, gentleness. Okay? So, that's pretty much it. Really. Yeah. So, it's essentially just saying keep at it. Okay. Right. Before I forget, let me go close queue. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay, we have Darkness Falls, Fawn, And pomegranate. I'm sorry. Every time I like get this card, I'm always just reminded of that Kill Switch Engage song that goes by the same name. Okay. Oh boy. They're coming out with some hard hitters. I just saw the keywords for this. Darkness falls. Within you live the hidden, the things that want nothing more than to swallow you whole. Keywords are facing your demons, acknowledging faults, and self-compassion. What did I just say? Your higher self chose this card because you have faults and have made mistakes. It's true that some mistakes are more costly than others, but no one lives a perfect life by any means. When you've made a misstep or when your faults put you in a sticky situation, defense mode can feel like a natural response. The wound from feeling less than has likely already triggered self-criticism, doubt, and even anger. And then to also bear the weight of someone else's disappointment, pain, anger, or criticism can feel like too much to carry. Before you know it, darkness has fallen and you're operating from a shadowy place rather than standing in your light and giving yourself some grace. Holy fuck! This card's just going right for the throat. Oh, fuck. Ugh. You have pulled Darkness Falls because you're experiencing your situation from a dark place and reacting defensively. Every story has two sides, and it may be time to consider whether or not you also share some blame in your current circumstances. This card does not guide you to view yourself in a negative light, but to act as a neutral bystander, who is merely curious and observant. How might you advise a friend who is experiencing similar circumstances? Would you guide them to calm down and take deep breaths, explain to them how they might be wrong in this situation, and even say sorry? You might find clarity in the answers needed for a positive resolution once you observe your circumstances from the outside rather than deep inside your shadow. Perhaps you will discover you were right all along, or maybe you'll be forced to acknowledge your own faults. As C.S. Lewis said, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Well, if that card doesn't just, like, encapsulate everything. Fucking Christ. You good over there? You've just been, like, really fucking silent. And then we have Fawn. Be curious, dear child, and explore the world within worlds. Keywords are innocence, learning, educating yourself, and leaping into adventure. Your higher self chose this card because Fawn is a gentle animal energy to work with, but its soft nature does not take away from its powerful wisdom. This woodland creature invites you to explore your innocence and see yourself as a blank canvas on which anything is possible. A new adventure is waiting, and all that's required of you is a little effort and practice. Soon a hesitant step on weak legs will turn into a giant leap of strength and graceful power.
The Fawn card guides you to explore new ways to express yourself. You may consider taking a course, learning a new hobby, going on a physical adventure like backpacking through Europe, or even trying something new in your hometown. No experience will be wasted, as each new adventure will provide more self-awareness and sharpen your knowledge of your likes and dislikes, and the things that make you feel alive. Deer are always ready to take a leap to get out of danger or pounce on an unexpected opportunity. Remain vigilant and do not second-guess yourself when the moment arrives to jump. I love that one. And then finally we have pomegranate. Dare to taste the unknown. Let it seduce your spirit awake. Keywords are lust, pleasure, seduction, forbidden fruit, and sexuality. Your higher self chose this card because you were ignoring the things that could show you the path to your purpose, to more rewarding relationships, and unrealized talents or new ways to experience fun. There is some debate about the fruit eaten by Eve in the garden. Some believe it was an apple, while others believe it was a pomegranate. The superfruit's connection to the story is what invokes its alignment with temptation. And sadly, the story of Eve leads many to believe their desires should be denied instead of embraced. Not this fucking Eve. Each desire is a clue about what will bring you fulfillment, joy, love, success, and all other high vibrational emotions that are yours to claim. By denying your desires, you are denying what makes you you. Pomegranate encourages you to allow yourself to experience everything that is within your heart. Try new foods, take an unusual path to a familiar place. Travel, speak to someone unusual, and do the things that scare you, but also excite you. In doing so, you will discover the freedom to experience your full self without limitations or boundaries. Alrighty. I like how they come out with the hard hitter first, and then they're just like, okay, now let us give you these two. So, this is definitely all about, like, the reasons why you need to confront that shadow, but also why it's not a good idea to just live completely within your shadow. Okay? Shadow work should be done occasionally, when you feel called to it. Not something you should be doing all the time, because it can get very heavy. Being too, like, heavily critical, overly critical of yourself, and living in that shadow constantly, okay, is not good. And definitely be curious about exploring yourself and learning more about yourself. Because for me, that's what this Fawn card is all about. But it's also kind of tying into that Pomegranate card about just, like, going after the things you want and just kind of, not holding yourself back from going after the things that you want, okay? So. Also, that username is fantastic, by the way. Just want to say.
Okay. Okay. They had a lot to say with these, okay? They had a lot to say. Fuck it. You got like 6 cards. I'll just give them to you all. No, give them all to you, rather, my goodness. So, first off, we have just do your best. It will be enough. Just keep trying, because trying is all that matters. Going in line with that fawn card, you will survive this. And then we have anxiety lies. There is no demon coming, and you're managing everything just fine. And there were 3 more that popped out, so I'm going to go ahead and share these as well. Your struggle is not an indication of failure. You are worth taking care of. And you're doing fine. Don't give up. So I hope that helps. Good. Alright. Okay. Let's see. What closing message do you have for us today? Okay. Okay. We have 3 of Swords, 10 of Cups reversed, and 3 of Coins. Ugh. Okay. So, definitely just kind of don't let there's a general sense of just kind of unhappiness here, okay? With that 10 of Cups reversed energy, okay? There's a sense of discontent, of unhappiness, of just, potentially even just kind of like a sense of disconnection in some sort, okay? Whether that be with others or just feeling disconnected from things. Don't there's no reason for you to be hard on yourself and for you to continue tearing yourself down, okay? You're already dealing with enough. You don't need to be tearing yourself down further. Okay? It's okay if there's like a sense of uncertainty and a sense of just, you know, like not really like being sure where to go or how to move towards things, okay? It's okay. It's okay if there's still things that you need to figure out. It's okay if there's still things you need to learn. It's okay if you need help. So, don't be so hard on yourself if you feel like you haven't gotten everything figured out yet, okay? Or if you feel like you don't have like all the things you need to move forward with something. Okay? It's okay if... Again, it's okay if you're uncertain, if you're feeling a little lost. And... if you're feeling a bit unprepared. Just trust that you'll figure things out as you go. Okay? You'll figure things out as you go.
And the oracle card is whiskey. Life should be sipped slowly with intention. Be patient as the vision reveals itself. Keywords here are patience, long-term success, and the bigger picture. Very much leaning into those trust the process vibes. Your higher self chose this card because some things, and often the best things, take time. Some of the most excellent whiskeys in the world age for more than a decade, giving them the time they need to develop flavor and richness. Even lower-end whiskey can take several years to mature properly. Those who take on this endeavor are doing so with the knowledge that they will not be an overnight success. But they take the journey anyway, because the rewards have the greatest potential for outweighing the risks. No dream worth having is without its risks. The whiskey card is confirmation that your desires are coming, but just not right now. So don't give up hope. Facing an obstacle or a delay isn't always a sign that you should try something else. Sometimes the universe is testing your patience to see if you have the determination to keep at it. To keep at your dream for the long haul, or it could be a sign to pause rather than quit. Consider whether your goals need time, like whiskey, to rest undisturbed. You can always come back to your dreams at a later date when you feel more prepared or eager to take on this challenge. In the case of a love reading, this card can mean a temporary breakup or setback in your relationship that will resolve itself at a later date. In most cases, this card guides you to have patience and advises you to wait at least one full moon cycle before inquiring about your situation again. Well. Alright. Oof. I love this one. This one's been popping out so much lately and I love it. You'll see which one I'm talking about here in a moment. Okay, we have... It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to be scared. You will succeed in spite of these feelings. And going along with that, it's okay to be afraid, but as much as you can, please try to act from love rather than from fear. And this adorable one that likes popping out a lot recently. You are important. You matter. Yup. An adorable little ray of sunshine. Look at that little orange single brain-celled cat. So, for whoever needs to hear that message, I hope it helps. Aww.
Aw, cute.
So, whoever needs to hear that message, I hope it helps. And with that, it's unfortunately time for me to call it here. I need to go get some food and go take some time for myself to go relax. So, maybe go play Minecraft, I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll go play more Slime Rancher. But thank you all for stopping by. Whether you joined the queue, talked in chat, or just lurked, I appreciate you sharing your time with me. I hope to see you all again soon, but bye for now.